Hello and welcome to ETH Insights, where leaders of today discuss ideas that will shape tomorrow. Over the past 2 years, Amway India has been through a deliberate reset, less visible perhaps from the outside, but fundamental in its intent. A phase marked not by expansion, but by tightening of governance, of compliance, and of the systems that underpin trust. Now, as India leans into its larger ambition of becoming a Viksit Bharat, the company is signaling a shift once again. This time towards growth, but on more disciplined terms. A growth story anchored in science-led wellness, in credible products, and in a business model that seeks to empower entrepreneurs while staying firmly within the lines. So what does this new Amway India really look like? What has changed and what must still be proven? We speak with Managing Director, Amway India, Rajneesh Chopra today to understand the decisions that reshape the organization and how the company sees its role in India's evolving growth story. Hello Rajneesh, welcome to ETH Insights.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me again.
Rajneesh, if we were to talk about the transformation journey of Amway India, especially in the last 2 years, what is that one critical moment or transformative decision that you would pick that reshaped the organization, and why was it critical?
Yeah, that's a great question. In fact, as I reflect on the journey, the transformation journey, and if I was to say one thing, it's very hard to pinpoint on that one thing, but there were many things which come together. In my perspective, the complexity of any transformation, as businesses evolve, you have to transform. You have to transform to the evolving needs of the consumer. And again, from my point of view, I think the people at the heart of everything that you do. So people, capabilities, competencies, skill sets, I would say that was one thing, whether it's from a business owner's lens or from our employee lens, we have made some very significant progress in that. The second piece I would say is product and how we are thinking about innovation, our portfolio, and how all of that evolves. The third, I think, is very important to me personally, is the economic impact that we make to the society at large. And that the decisions that we make and how we are giving back to the society is at the center of transformation. I've seen over the years, many companies evolve in India and transform in India. Businesses evolve, businesses transform. It's extremely important never to lose sight of people. People at the center of everything we do. It's helping people live better lives. And that's the transformation that we are on.
Talking about the people piece of the transformation journey, if you were to maybe delve on 3 tangible changes, especially within the new Amway India story, for your entrepreneurs, consumers, and even other stakeholders like regulators, what would those 3 changes be that will differentiate Amway of 2 years ago and now?
One big transformation that I would call out is the governance and compliance that we build around our, and I personally believe everything that we do has to be good for the economy, the Indian economy. And I say India for Amway, Amway for India. The time has come. It's very, very important that we delve a little deeper into that, and from a compliance and regulatory. So we call it as the clean Amway, the 100% compliant Amway, where we are doing everything that the state and the local authorities, regulators want us to be complying with. That's first and foremost. The second thing, as you talked about the business owners, I think it's very important for us to put the business owners in the center of everything we do. Our promise to our business owners and our consumers is real, and we deliver trust. And while we deliver products of high quality nature, but we do deliver trust through those products. And the trust and the promise that we have towards our business owners and consumers is very, very important. The third aspect of my leadership has always been bringing clarity, collaboration, commitment. I call it the 3 C's. And there's the foremost to me personally that we bring across our business owners, and that we communicate transparently, that we build trust transparently, that we and I call this as our superpower. Our superpower is our partnership with our consumers, partnership with our business owners, and those are the three big ones that I would like to call out as part of this transformation.
You spoke about compliance and the new models of governance that you have introduced. Direct selling as an industry has always been subjected to more scrutiny, and also there are misconceptions around it. So in that context, what are some of the steps Amway India is taking to build trust, transparency, or also credibility with the stakeholders?
One of the biggest things for us is that we follow everything that is being laid out by the direct selling rules, which came out in 2021. And our blueprint is built on what those are. Our ethics, our governance, our compliance, everything has to be in accordance with the direct selling rules of 2021. As more and more states adopt it, that's exactly where we are going, because that's our North Star. The second thing I would say from our perspective has been our quality assurance standards. We bring a lot of governance on ourselves. We educate people on how they talk about the products. We are uniquely set in that way. We are the largest direct selling company of the world. We have been the largest direct selling company now for 14 years in a row, and we continue to deliver high quality products all around. We have organic certified farms, our seed to supplement story, our traceability story. All of that fits into the work that we bring to life. And as we do this, I think the empowerment that we give to people is, again, at the center of everything we do. How people put food on the table for their families, and how we provide them that opportunity to be able to do that through selling, our trusted products to their consumers. And again, the importance that we are laying on ensuring that the last mile is at the center of everything we do, and how people bring this to life, from an ABO to a consumer, from us to an ABO, is very, very critical. And that's been our focus, and that has been our strength for the last 2 years.
You have often spoken about Amway for India and India for Amway. Within that context, in India, we are seeing a surge, when it comes to health awareness and also wellness consumption. So in that context, how is Amway building its nutrition and wellness portfolio, especially with Nutralite, which is science-led and also differentiated in this crowded market?
I came back to India after many years living overseas, and I was fascinated by what has happened in India. The stories that emerge at every street, every corner, how people are talking about health and well-being, and the awareness that exists in India. It's just outstanding, and it's not only a concept of the West, it's a concept that is emerging so strongly in India. And I learned so much from different people of different age groups, male, female, all of that. As we look at our nutrition brand, we have been around for, our brand Nutralite has been around for 90 years. We are celebrating our 90th year. And our company, Amway, is now heading towards our 70th year celebration. We have a 3-decade legacy coming to life. We'll be celebrating our 3 decades in India in 2028. And so as I look at all of this, and we look at our 29 NutriCert farms that we have in India, 1,000 crores of investment that we made in our manufacturing plant, we have 4 research and development labs in India, and the empowerment, the science that goes into those labs is just phenomenal. We would not bring a product to the marketplace, even if that means that we have to spend another 6 months to 12 months of research and clinical trials and all the stuff that takes to bring a product to life. And sometimes, I get questioned, that does it require this much testing, this much of all, and 200 plus quality tests of products. It's unheard of. That is the science that we hold behind our products. And I have not seen companies do that. And I can tell you that we stand behind the quality of our products because we are so stringent in the quality and the processes that bring our products to life.
Rajneesh, talking about Amway India's presence in the country, I think last time also when we spoke, you had mentioned about aligning your goals with that of the nations. So now as India advances towards its Viksit Bharat vision, how is Amway ensuring creating more entrepreneurial opportunities and contributing to the larger growth story of the nation?
You know, as I look at India, the largest democracy of the world, and when I say Amway for India, India for Amway, it's a perfect story to blend. And more than 65% of the population is below the age of 35. More than 50% of the population below the age of 25. So it makes it the youngest democracy of the world, holding the biggest future promise for the world. And as I look at all of that and, the Viksit Bharat and Prime Minister Modi's initiatives, all of the work that we are doing are absolute mirrored on the work of Viksit Bharat and what it takes to ensure that the health and well-being objectives of the society are met with. When I reflect on our ABOs and our entrepreneurs, 50% are women. Of 5.5 lakh ABOs, if 50% are women, can you imagine how we are empowering women to bring that to life? Out of our manufacturing plant, 30% plus are women. So when I look at all of this and how we are being part of the transformation that is taking place in India and India's journey to become the third largest economy and very soon to become the second largest economy, and I think Amway has to play a very strong role in that transformation.
I think if the last phase was about building reliability and compliance within the systems, and the next phase will be on sustaining that and that too at scale. Thank you so much, Rajneesh. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.